Hello and welcome back. This is all about factoring polynomials. So to factor polynomials, we need to apply algebraic principles. Okay, so we're just going to be like multiplying, dividing algebraic principles, stuff that we've learned before. All right, and we're going to be able to describe and simplify polynomial expressions. So there's two steps to factoring polynomials with the greatest common factor. The first step is you find the highest number that divides each term, and that's called the greatest common factor, and the lowest exponent on the variables for all the terms. And then the second thing is to divide each term by the number and then subtract the exponents. And to remember to keep them separate each term with that addition or subtraction between the terms. So first off, let's locate what the greatest common factor is in these problems. So, first step, okay, 6x squared, 10x squared. Well, I can divide each one of those numbers by 2. That's the highest number that I can divide both of them by. And they both have an x squared in each term. So the greatest common factor, or the GCF, is 2x squared. If you look at B, I now am dealing with 3 terms. And you'll notice that all 3 of them you can divide by 3. The lowest exponent on the y is to the third. So my greatest common factor is 3y to the third. In the last example, you'll notice there's no numbers. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. The lowest exponent in the x is 4, and the lowest exponent in the y is 3. So my greatest common factor is x to the fourth, y to the third. So here are 2 checkpoints. Try them. Pause the video right now. Did you pause it? Okay, did you try these all by yourself before I give you the answers? Do that. All right, here are the answers. Okay, hope you followed those steps. Now we have a polynomial, which means it's just terms connected together. So you have to ask yourself, okay, what can I divide? So for the first one, A, I can divide each term by 5. Okay, so I'm going to put the 5 on the outside, and then I'm going to have inside the parentheses x squared plus 6. Well, you notice is really all I am doing is undistributing or dividing. Okay, so factoring can really just be thought of as the opposite of distributing. In the second example, you can see that I can divide each number by 9, and there's an x squared in each term. So my greatest common factor is 9x squared. So I'm going to put that on the outside. And then what I do is I just divide the numbers by 9, and then I subtract 2 from the exponents. And what you'll notice is that x squared here goes away because I took it all out. In the last example, I have 3 terms. Notice they're all divisible by 4, and they have x to the third in common. So that's my greatest common factor. So now I take that, I put it on the outside. The first 2 things are easy. So I just divide each of those terms by 4. I subtract 3 from the exponents. Oop, that should be a 1. But what happens when I take out a whole term? All right, because I took out that whole term here. I'm going to hit plus, so I have to hit plus, and then what would that be if I divided 4 by 4? It is 1. Okay, so other than this being wrong, that should be a 1 here. This is the biggest thing right here, is when I take out that term and it's the same on the outside, there's always a 1. It doesn't go away. Again, try these problems, pause the video. Okay, here are the answers. All right, I hope you got those right. Now, let's go into factoring by grouping. So there's really 3 steps to factoring by grouping. So the first step, group the terms in pairs. So what does that mean? All I'm going to do is put parentheses around each pair. Now I factor out the GCF of each pair. So you'll notice that in the first pair, they have an x squared in common, so I'm going to take that out. And then the second pair, I can divide those by a positive 3. And you notice that these 2 parentheses should always be the same. Now, the factored terms combine to 1 parenthesis, and the greatest common factors combine to another parenthesis. So what does that mean? Okay, what that means is the x plus 4 comes here, and the x squared plus 3 comes here in 1 parenthesis. If you're thinking about distributive property, this is really just that double distributive. And then I'm just then combining like terms to get up here. Okay, so I'm undoing the distributive property. Next step, again, I'm going to follow these same 3 steps. I pair them. I look at that first parenthesis, x is common. In the second parenthesis, now a negative 4 is common because these are both negative, and you notice that this sign turns to a positive so that these parentheses match. Now I bring these parentheses into 1 and then my greatest common factors into another, and that is the result of my simplifying or factoring by grouping of this polynomial. Okay, try these examples. Pause the video, give it a shot. All right, here are the answers. I hope that was a quick and simple lesson for you on factoring. Remember, just look for what is common in all of the equations.